Uh, Hello students, what we have covered till now, and in the chapter that is income under the head salaries, I think we are left out at the VRS scheme, right? Uh, Before moving to that, let's have go through in all the slides that we have started with the definition of the salary, right? Then we have seen the different components of the salary, that is the basic salary, dearness allowance and all that stuff, that is CCA, city compensatory allowance, what these all allowances are all about and all that stuff. Then we have seen the different rules related to the leave encashment. Then we moved, this is also leave encashment. We have calculated the sums of leave encashment. Yes. Then we moved to the gratuity, that is under section 1010. So there are different rules related to the gratuity, and we have calculated the sums related to this matter also. These are the, and this is the competition table needs to be followed when we need to calculate the gratuity amount. Let's move ahead. Then we have seen the rules related to the pension. Then and this is something provident fund. Then the different allowances. We can classify these allowances under three different categories, that is the fully taxable without any exemption, then the specific allowance that are fully exempted, and third category, that is some amount is taxable and rest of the amount is tax free, that is partially taxable. Let's move ahead. Also we have seen the, I'm going to share this slides with you, so you will have an idea that how much we have covered, right? Let's move or jump to, yes, this is VRS, we have left here. Now what does this VRS means? That is VRS stands for the voluntary retirement scheme. Voluntary, here we have to emphasize on the word, that is voluntary. Voluntary means this is not a normal retirement, a person is retiring voluntarily. Let's first move and see what are the basic rules related to the voluntary retirement compensation or voluntary retirement scheme. This falls under the section 10 subsection 10C of the Income Tax Act. Now what are the basic conditions needs to be followed? First, that is voluntary retirement compensation received by the employee is exempted from the tax up to ₹5 lakh, and this 5 lakh is going to be exempted only in the case of if some conditions have been fulfilled or satisfied. What are those conditions? Let's see this one by one. The first one is compensation must be received for voluntary retirement. Here what does this mean by voluntary retirement? Means we can say that is employee is retiring voluntarily, or the scheme must be provided by an employer to the employee. Means this is not a normal retirement. Means a person is retiring at the age of 58 or 60 or 62, then it's not considered as a voluntary retirement, right? Second, that is employee must have completed 10 years of service. This is important. You can't give this VRS scheme to an employee who has worked with the organization for less than 10 years, or his or her age is 40 years, less than 40 years, right? So this can be given to an employee who has worked with the organization for more than 10 years and his or her age must be 40 years or above. Third condition, that is scheme must be offered by the employer to all employee except directors. Here what does this mean by directors? Directors means the promoters of the company, owners of the company, who are drawing salary from the companies. So in such scenario, directors cannot directors cannot avail the benefit of this 5 lakh rupees, right? That is the exempted amount under the section 10 subsection 10C, right? Next comes, that is the purpose of the scheme must be to reduce the overall strength of the workers of the organization. See why the company has introduced this scheme. Normally, this kind of schemes are being introduced with the purpose of reducing the strength of an employees. So, to reduce the strength of the employees, this must be introduced, or maybe to reduce the salary burden of the organization. Okay, the next one, that is no appointment should be made against the vacancies so created. See, the company has given some VRS scheme, VRS to the some employees, and in that particular vacancy, they have filled up the another people. Maybe they have recruited the people from outside, and they are very cheaper, or their company has a lesser amount of burden. This should not be the story, right? Next comes, that is the employees opting for the scheme must not be placed in any other department. Means this must be this, we can say that is interdepartmental transfers cannot be considered as a VRS, right? So if an employee has been transferred from, suppose, sales department to operation department, and you can't show that it's a retirement from sales, and the person transferred to the operations, so it is VRS or it is a retirement. No, it's not retirement. It should be voluntary in nature, and retiring means the exit, means company is out of the organization. Now the important thing, that is amount of exempt. Now what needs to be followed, that is out of these 4 rules, whatsoever is the least amount that is going to be exempted under the section 10C of the Income Tax Act, right? Rest of the figure is taxable. Now what these 4 amounts are, the first one is the actual amount of compensation received. So how much compensation an employee has received under VRS or voluntary retirement compensation or VRS scheme. So first, this figure is going to be given to you, right? You have to just write down that figure here. Second, that is maximum limit, as I have mentioned here, that is the 5 lakh rupees. So maximum amount an employee can get as an exempt amount under the VRS, that is 5 lakh rupees. Third, that is amount equivalent to 3 months of salary for each completed years of service. So what does this mean? That is, suppose I have worked in the organization for 15 years and 7 months. So completed years are 15 years, right? And company has given me VRS. So when I am calculating this, the exempt amount, the number of years under this third point, the amount equivalent to 3 months of salary for each completed years. Suppose I have worked for 15 years and 7 months, then 15 years are the complete years. Okay, amount equivalent to 3 months of salary. So each year I will take 3 months of salary. So 15 years into 3 months of salary means, suppose my salary for monthly salary is 10,000 rupees. Suppose in 3 months salary is 30,000 rupees, right? And 30,000 into, suppose I have taken the example of 15 years, so 30,000 into 15. So 15 into 3, 45, right? So in that way, what happens, that is here I have to calculate only the complete years, right? And whatsoever complete years, and for each year 3 months of salary. So in my example, suppose 10,000 rupees is a salary, monthly salary, 3 months salary comprises of suppose 30,000 rupees. So 30,000 rupees into 15, so 15 4 is 45. So it is 4,50,000 rupees, right? So 4,50,000 rupees will be considered under this third point. Now the fourth one, that is salary at the time of retirement multiplied by the balance month of service left. So how many years of service left when this VRS, see VRS has been given in between. If it is a natural retirement, then it is at the age of 58 or 60. So no service is left out, right? So here some years of service is left out. for that particular employee, right? So salary at the time of retirement multiplied by the balance amount of service left. So what is the balance month of service left? So what are the balance month of service left that we have to calculate? Okay. And then what is the salary at the time of retirement? So last month's salary, what it was, right? And we have to check what this figure is, right? Suppose somebody's in my example, suppose we can say that my balance month of we can say that is the salary balance in the month of service left, that is suppose 24 months, or maybe let's say 12 months. Then 10,000 rupees of salary at the time of retirement, 10,000 into 12 months means 1,20,000, right? Salary for this purpose, now here, so the amount will come to 10,000 into 12, that is 1,20,000, right? So what here the important aspect, that is here it has been written in the form of note, that is salary for this purpose include the basic salary. So when I am calculating salary here, for the calculation purpose only, right? For what calculating? For what we have to calculate, that is the VRS amounts which should be exempted from the tax, right? For this purpose, what is been considered under the head salary? Only three things are to be considered. First is, that is basic salary. Second is DA or dearness allowance or dearness pay, and third one, that is the commission. And this commission, it should be based on the fixed percentage of the turnover achieved by an employee. So three things needs to be totaled, and whatsoever the figure comes, that is been considered as a salary for the calculation of this point number 3 and point number 4. All the allowances are, everything is not going to be considered, only three things are going to be considered. We will see this in the form of sum, then you will get it better. So let's see. We will move to the next slide, and let's end this video here, and we will see the next sum, maybe this one, that is Mrs. Rekha is working at Chennai. This sum we will see in the next video. Okay. Here important thing, that is, if any one of you are having any queries related to this VRS or anything, you can send a mail to me, and I will try to solve all your queries and issues related to this concept. This thing we have already discussed in the classroom. I have just repeated this so as this work as a linker, and then we will move to, this is the last aspect that needs to be discussed in the classroom. Then rest we have to go for the last aspect, in the sense that this is the last you can say matter, or the different sub points needs to be discussed of this salary chapter. Rest we have to move to directly to the sums. These are the different sums that we are going to see in the next lecture, in which all these rules which we have seen till now, that are going to be applied in the sums, and we will try to solve those sums. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.